Hello and welcome to the Refs Need Love To podcast. I thought it would be a fun one today to do a post-game analysis. It was my first game of 2023, and I wanted to share my experience with you while it was fresh in my mind. As usual, you can find me on TikTok at Refs Need Love To or at my website at refsneedlove2.com. Okay, so this morning, pre-game felt great. Now, I am a morning person. I have no problem waking up early. Today, it was about a 7:15 wake up, and I was breakfast guy making the pancakes and eggs for the family this morning. Not my normally healthy breakfast for pre-reffing. Normally, I'm a healthy cereal and fruit, but, that's what the family wants on a Sunday morning, and I was in charge of getting breakfast together as my wife was taking care of some other things. So it felt good. One thing I did add into my pregame this morning, aside from hydration, really drinking extra water in advance of the game, and then also last night as well, downing some extra waters as well, was some extra stretching. So one thing that I have noticed as I've gotten older is I'm not nearly as flexible as I used to be. And I'm really focusing on my speed and my sprinting so that I can better keep up with play. Especially today, I had an adult amateur match. It's 45-minute halves. It's a full field. This is not recreational. It's a very well-organized Sunday league type of competition, and they take it seriously. I need to take it seriously, and I need to be able to keep up with these young men and sometimes women out there. So I really focused on stretching my hip flexors, my calves, my hamstrings, my quads to make sure that I was ready to go. And I felt great. I have been doing a lot of running these days. I have been participating with Scorch Fitness, which is it's exercise classes or gym down in Florida. But they also have an app specifically for referee training. And I have to tell you, I feel so much lighter on my feet when I run these days. I used to have very severe pain in my Achilles that I just don't have anymore. Every now and then I feel it a little bit, but it's not pain. I used to be like literally limping for a day or two after a full 90-minute match, and that's not happening anymore. And I attribute it to the strength and conditioning that I've done in running and sprinting and all of the jumping rope and all of the plyometrics that this new Scorch Fitness program has me doing as a referee. So that has been fantastic, and I'll definitely share more about that. I'm going to plan on writing a blog and doing some TikToks on what they've done, but I am a believer. The second thing is I always want to make sure that I arrive at the field early. I hate it when I feel rushed for time, when I don't have my stuff together, and the players see me rushing around, not really doing my proper pregame, and my fellow officials. I was centering this game, so I want to make sure I'm there. Plenty of time to do my field check. I use the field check as a time to do just a nice light jog warm-up, to go check the corner flags, go check the nets, make sure the goals are centered. And then by the time I'm done with that, my other officials are usually showing up. I ask them just to be there 30 minutes advance for this league, which both of them were. And man, I was so delighted. I had Horacio, who's an older gentleman, probably around my age, who's been reffing for a very long time, actually from Uruguay, and Chela, whose dad is one of my referee. He was not an official mentor, but he is probably one of the most professional guys I've ever worked with, and Jacob and I have reffed with him a number of times. So she also follows in her dad's footsteps as a referee. I think she's 25 or 26, and always, very fit, always in the right position, great calls, very solid as an official herself. So our pregame with experienced referees might be a little different from a junior referee. I'm not talking to them about mechanics, but we're talking about offside. Again, making sure we're holding the flag until the attacker actively becomes involved with play. There's been so much talk recently about offside and what does involved in play actually mean these days. So that was a big topic of conversation. What does a deliberate play on the ball mean? That was very important. The other thing I want to make sure is that we align on signals. What am I looking for? If them for throw-ins. Again, where am I going to be leading? My quadrant of the field, their quadrant of the field, always looking for them, making sure they feel comfortable calling fouls, always making sure we have eye contact, constantly looking for eye contact on every single call, even if it might be on the opposite side of the field before the play restarts. May look back, just make sure we're okay, just to see anything that I might miss or anything that they need to call my attention to. But wonderful crew, makes my job so much easier. Then game time is around, and check-ins for the players. Again, for check-ins for adults, really just trying to communicate. Hey, play to the whistle. I'm going to try and communicate to you in a calm, professional, respectful tone. I just ask the same in return. Again, making sure everyone plays to the whistle. I do remind people, especially on offside, the flag is going to hold until we're sure who's playing the ball. Just basic things like that. And then I just tell them, hey, make sure jewelry's off, no necklaces, bracelets, belly rings, eyebrow rings, earrings. Tape doesn't count. They got to come out. So wonderful. First half, I have to tell you, I felt great. I felt great. And I'm really, really feeling great. I mean, when I say feeling great, I mean able to sprint effectively, not feeling tight, feeling that I had no problem keeping up with play. I told my fellow ARs the big thing I was working on was my positioning. I wanted to make sure that I was not necessarily staying, true only to the diagonal, but really trying to make sure that I did not get pulled into the center of the field, especially when ball is close in on the penalty area. I want to stay to the left side of the D so that I don't get in the middle of a play that might be switching back. Again, the play is always going to be trying to come back through the center of the pitch. Don't be in the middle of it. Don't stop play. Even when the ball is in the middle of the field and play is switching, you want to cross through that center circle as quickly as humanly possible so that you're not going to be interfering with play if the ball quickly switches back. Again, just making sure that you're not going to get hit with the ball and not slow down play or get in the middle of the center mids as they're coming across the center of the field too. And I was really focused on that. I actually ran 6.1 miles in this game, and I felt like I could have run all day. It was like 50 degrees, overcast. There was a little bit of a mist out, but it was perfect running weather, and I felt wonderful. Really made sure I was running on the balls of my feet. Really made sure that I was taking nice long strides. Fantastic. First half done. All good, nothing controversial. The home team was up 2-0 towards the end of the first half. And again, these are 45-minute halves. They feel a little long for these guys. I mean, these guys are not doing, practices or conditioning through the week. At least I don't think so. Maybe they are. But generally, they're showing up and playing on Sundays. And so by the end of the half, people start to get a little leggy, a little tired. They start coming into challenges a little later. People start getting frustrated. But generally, first half was no problem. Second half, different story. Again, when people are tired, when people are maybe not in the shape that they wish they were, their challenges may go a little awry. And within 5 minutes in the first half, we had a challenge come in that was a little late, and I didn't see much in it. I thought it was just a regular trip. Nothing bad, but a player who was fouled went down really hard and was very upset, and immediately kind of got up and started getting into my personal space. And I can't remember exactly what he said, but let me tell you, he was irate. He was very upset. He was just about to get a yellow card for dissent. I tried to really just stay cool and be like, hey, man, chill out, please, calm down. And his fellow players, grabbed him, pulled him back, and got him chilled. I will tell you, in that moment, I was pretty confident that I didn't see anything nefarious, but I should have gone over to my assistant referee and asked if he saw anything that would have been yellow or red card worthy. Why was that guy so upset? I should have questioned that for myself and should have gotten a second opinion from my assistant referee, who I trust. That was a mistake on my part. So I gave the foul, no problem. And literally a minute later, the player who had possibly would have gotten the yellow card for that challenge, a minute later, they had another silly tackle, And I told him cut it out because he had a few little niggling little like chippy little fouls in the first half. He got a yellow card for persistent infringement. And then not too long after that, he was taken off the field. But should have checked with my assistant referee in that scenario. Another call in the game that I wish I could have done over, I wish I could have video of to look again, was a possible penalty kick that I could have awarded. And this is one that, you see goes both directions many different times. Sometimes it's called, sometimes it's not. Player running into the box, gets the shot away, and then after the shot takes place, gets fouled. And let's just say it, gets fouled. And the question is, have we played advantage? That the shot has gone away. They have a great shot on goal. Now they missed the shot on goal. Are we playing advantage at that point? Because they got the shot, we let it go away, we didn't stop it with a whistle. And is it a foul? Is it a penalty kick at that point? I mean, the things to consider, was the ball still in play? I don't know. If the ball's, not in play anymore and it's just a common foul, well, you don't do anything about it. It was a tough one for me. I have to be honest. My call on the field was, hey, I played advantage. You got your shot away. Yes, there was certainly contact, but, not a penalty kick. On another day, it could have been, hey, got the shot away, but he was cleaned out afterwards. It's a foul. The ball was still on the field of play, and it should have been a penalty kick. I think I'll be playing this one back in my mind a number of times over the next couple of weeks. If I had to do it over again, not sure what the call would have been, but that's one that I will be thinking about. And I talked to my fellow assistant referees about afterwards, and we were both comfortable with the call that it wasn't a penalty kick, but it could have been. So that's the question. Again, really focused on that diagonal all throughout the game, and it felt really good. It felt like I was in a good position to make almost every call that I needed to make and be able to make them confidently. Does everyone agree with your call? No one agrees with the call. There were still calls that people felt that I should have called, that I didn't call. There were calls that I made that I did call that they feel I shouldn't call. But that's just the way it is. And, when I blew that final whistle, it was a 2-2 match. So both teams, felt like they could have won the game and, were upset that they didn't win the game. But I'm not expecting that after, any game, whether someone wins 5-0 or it's 2-2 or it's a 0-0, that I'm going to get lots of love. I mean, that's just the way it is. You're a referee. All I'm looking for at that point is respect, is a little bit of appreciation. Hey, good game. Let's, give a pound or shake hands and go our separate ways. They're usually with the men in particular, you'll have one or two guys who want to complain and say, hey, you blew that call, or you didn't do that right, or, why didn't you give that penalty, or whatever it might be. And it's, it's always so funny. I never respond going, hey, why'd you miss those 3 sitters? Or, my gosh, you hit that ball over the bar. You had a wide open goalmouth sitting in front of you. Oh, my gosh. I mean, seriously, how did you not hit that pass? I mean, it was easier to hit water falling out of a boat than you missing that pass. It's like, or not missing that pass. It's just like, it's just funny. I understand, people want to blame a loss on someone. No one likes to look inside and think about what they could have done better. It's always easier to blame the referee, but I do wish that people would appreciate that. Being a player is hard, and I appreciate that, and being a referee is hard, and they should appreciate that. But often they don't. Now, at the end of the game, again, I debrief with my assistant referees on the field, away from earshot from the players, and we talked about the calls, that I was questioning. And again, could have gone either way. Nothing was cut and dry, based on what we saw. Oh, gosh, I would love to have VAR where I could look at some of these plays again. That would have been a really good game to be potentially assessed on, because I think in general I did well. But, I would have loved to have a proper assessor there to give me feedback on some of those key match decisions that could have gone one way or the other. So, I don't know. I think, again, the most important thing after every game is, what did I learn? What would I do differently next time? What could I work on? How could I improve myself? That's for me coming out of every single game. And the thing that I love being a referee, it's that it's not a simple exact science. It is an art form. You'll get some calls right. You'll miss some other calls. But again, forgive yourself and commit yourself to learning and doing better next time. That's what it's all about, man. Every great journey starts with a small step. You can always learn something new every single day. And that is what I love about being a referee. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. This was the first game of the year, but man, I've got 2 more coming up this week for high school. I've got another game or a couple matches next weekend as well. I am well on my way to, going to be another 100, 150 plus matches in 2023. If you enjoyed this content, definitely feel free to shoot me a message at refsneedlove2.com or refsneedlove2@gmail.com. As always, I appreciate your support, and I hope your next game is red card free.